Drift Racing Online on Xbox One, and this is just my first impressions on the Logitech G920 wheel, pedals and shifter. I've done this video already on Forza Horizon 4, but this is going to be more of a video, showing what it's like on CarX Drift Racing Online. Not so much talking about the wheel, because I've already done that, but just how it feels on this game. And I've been driving around a little bit already and just got the kind of settings, the control settings are kind of right. I've also mapped the handbrake to this button here, so it's easy to grab. Because obviously, if you don't know, on PS4 and on Xbox as well, with the Logitech G920 and I think other wheels, you can't plug a handbrake in. It's only on the PC versions that this wheel will accept the handbrake. So that's my handbrake, is this. But yeah, my first impressions are, it's really good. It feels great on this game already. It feels better than Forza, I'd say, a lot better, just for the simple fact that there's a lot more steering angle on the tuning on this game. Forza Horizon is just terrible, really. They say they've got, drift tuning and drift springs, but the angle you can put on the wheels is just pathetic, really, especially compared to real life drift cars. But yeah, as the force feedback goes and just the driving, it feels just like Forza, really. It feels as good as Forza, but just with more angle. Close. Yeah, first impressions are really good. It feels really nice. It's the same kind of force feedback quality where, for example, if I drive fast and go like that, the understeer you can feel quite strong and you can feel it straight away. If I go slow and I turn light, or even if I turn hard but I'm going slow, there's less of an understeer and there's less resistance on the wheel, so it's a reactive and adaptive force feedback, which I'm surprised at. It's just as good as Forza, which is impressive, really, because this is kind of not a low budget game, but compared to Forza and the money they've got and the money that they spend on their physics engine and stuff like that, I'd say this is just as good, if not better, because you've got more steering angle. So it basically feels the same, but with just more angle on there. And yeah, if you haven't seen my other video where I do this on Forza Horizon, I said that I'm going to do a Forza Horizon 4 learning to drift using the wheel, a series on that. I'm also going to do the same series on CarX Drift Racing Online, so I'm going to be, I'm learning myself, obviously. I've only just started, but I'm going to be sort of going through my process of learning and doing tutorials for other people who are in the same position and just starting to get used to the wheel. I think also I'm going to make a new account because most of my setups, including this one, they're quite aggressive and they're made for the controller, where obviously with the controller you can just flick left and right, you've got instant lock on the wheels. With this, there's a lot of steering to, go from left to right. It's not just flicking your thumb, so these cars are basically set up for the controller, so they're really aggressive, really kind of twitchy, and so if you don't already know, on this game you can't make multiple tunes for the same car or have more than one of the same car. So I'm going to make a new Xbox account and start the game up from fresh, and I'm going to basically play the campaign through using just the wheel and drift using the stock cars, and then put a little bit of a tune on them. And then from there, kind of build that tune up and make the car more aggressive, faster. Like I'll go from the drift tuning to the ultimate engine tuning, and then just put the speed up and the power up and all that sort of stuff. And let's get distracted for a second then. But yeah, I'm going to slowly sort of upgrade the cars so they're faster, more aggressive, more like FD cars rather than kind of like stock Japanese drifting cars from the 90s or whatever. But that's where I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn to drift using slow stock cars and then slowly build those cars up when I get better and when I get more comfortable with the cars, because I've driven a couple of cars in this game already. I've probably been on about 20 minutes. And same with Forza Horizon 4, each car feels different on the wheel. It has a different kind of different strength on the steering. Each car has got its own unique kind of handling, which I think is really cool. Same with Forza, it's not just like the wheel always feels the same. If you're in a different car, it feels different. And also with this game, the force feedback is really good quality, just like Forza Horizon. It's really adaptive. Like I said, if you go fast and you understeer, it's quite strong. The faster you go and the more the understeer is, the stronger the resistance is. But yeah, it feels good. My first impressions are it feels amazing on this game. I'd say better than Forza for drifting. Forza might be better for racing. In fact, it is. I'll definitely say that now. The force feedback and the handling is the racing handling is much better on Forza. But then this is a drift game. It's not really. It does have racing elements and mode and tuning, but they're not great. And especially compared to Forza, they're not going to be as good. But funnily enough, the drifting is better for a game that's had a lot less money spent on the development. So, props to the CarX Drift development team, because they're always bringing out new updates, adding to the game, and even the game itself is really good. So as you can see, the wheel, acts just as it would with Forza, and as it should in real life. It self-steers when it should do, and when you go over bumps, like when you tap a curb, you can feel it sort of bump. When you are going uphill, you feel the steering get heavier, and it gets lighter when you're going downhill, quite fast. Everything is as good as Forza, and Forza is really good, so that just tells you how good it is. And the drifting's better than Forza, I'd say. I just need to get good at it. I mean, I'm quite good on the controller. I'd say I've pretty much not mastered the games. I'm not going to say I'm amazing, but I kind of got bored on the controller because I can drift every corner, I can tandem with people, perfect. And once you've kind of done that on a game and you've got to that certain point, I mean, with controller, with all games, it's just a matter of time before you've learned it and you're really comfortable with it. And then it kind of gets a little bit boring after a while because you know what to do, you've done it all 100 times. Whereas with this, it's totally different. It's like going back to basics and learning from like square one again. And it's a lot more difficult, a hell of a lot more difficult, but it's realistic, rather than just going crazy with the controller and flicking it all over the place, and even if you're about to spin out, you can bring it straight back. This is a lot less forgiving and a lot more. You've got to be really mindful of what you're doing and think about what you're going to do before you do it. Like, you've got to think, okay, am I at the right speed for this corner? Am I on too much throttle? Am I going in with too much of a weight transfer? Am I going to spin it out? Whereas with controller, you don't really care. You just go all over the place, and it still works, and you still drift perfect. But I kind of don't like that. It's too easy on controller, especially with the controller assist. I'm not a big fan of it, as you know, in some of my other videos, but it's not too bad. But yeah, it gets boring really quick for me. Controller assist. It's just like, you want to drift to the right, you just hold the stick to the right and it does it all for you. Without assist on the controller, it's probably too hard because it's really twitchy and difficult, but I still prefer it. But this is kind of how it should be. If I haven't said already, I'm sort of starting out on the most realistic settings and controls for this. You can adjust the wheel rotation so that, for example, it goes only 720, so it sort of like locks when you get to there, and the wheel won't go any further. A lot of people tend to learn on lower rotation of the wheel. They set it to 540 or 720 or whatever it may be. But I've just put mine straight to 900, which is the maximum for the Logitech. So I just think that why not learn on the right setting rather than sort of learn on something that's not realistic and then slowly make it more realistic. You might as well, in my opinion, or the way I like to do things, just go straight in the proper way and learn it properly. So I've got no assists on. This is totally as realistic as this game will get drifting. 900 degrees and no assists. Obviously, if I was to upgrade my wheel to like a Fanatec or a Thrustmaster, although it cost me about £1,000 to do so, or quite a few hundred, maybe 5 times the price of this, if not more. That's the only way you're going to get 1080 degrees, and not a lot of people drift with 1080 or have those wheels. Most people are actually, this is probably the most common drifting or racing simulator setup in the world now. This is what most people are using, because it's a really good value and it's affordable, and it feels really good. If you haven't seen my other video on Forza, I talk about basically how strong and how impressed and surprised I was by how strong the force feedback is. It's really strong, it really fights you. It is like an arm workout sometimes, especially when you're sort of, you know, coming out of a drift, or you're understeering, or you're really throwing the car around. There's a hell of a lot of force behind it sometimes. It really does fight you in certain places when you're doing certain things. Sometimes it's really light and it steers itself, obviously, but you know, understeer, there's a lot of resistance, stuff like that. A bit crazy there. But yeah, again, like Forza, it's totally different to the controller. On the controller you can drift perfect, do everything really good, and it's kind of satisfying, feels good. Whereas with the wheel, you can do like a rubbish drift, and it feels really good. Like something that would, like a perfect drift on controller, feels quite satisfying, quite good. You know, bad drifting on here feels even more satisfying, so that just goes to show like how much of a different experience it is and how much more fun it is. The throttle and the brake are really important as well, I've noticed. Obviously when you're on controller you just sort of tap it and everything's really instant on the controller, instant steering, instant brake and throttle. With this you've got to be a lot more mindful of what you're doing and kind of think ahead and sort of be one step ahead of what the car is going to do. You know, don't let it spin out to a certain point. Before it even gets to the point of no return, you should already be correcting it. Because it's quite unforgiving, I'd say, the wheel. You know, it's quite difficult if you've never driven a wheel or anything like that, or driven in real life, or you know, used one of these wheels. But yeah, that's probably where I'm going to wrap it up, because I've been on for quite a little while. My GoPro is quickly dying, as usual. But yeah, if you like this video and you want to see more, you know, steering wheel videos, subscribe to the channel. If you've checked out my content before, I normally do drifting tutorial videos and, you know, design and other tutorial videos on this game and on Forza, and I'll be doing a lot more of those videos, a series on learning to drift on Forza and on this game. And also, it's not the end of me playing on controller. I'm still going to do controller videos. I'm still going to do, you know, videos that aren't related to the wheel, but the wheel will definitely be heavily featured on the channel from now on. And if you like that sort of stuff, if you're into drifting, if you're into racing, if you're into, you know, steering wheel setups, subscribe to see more stuff like this, and there will be a lot more to come. And I want to do more kind of meetups with subscribers and viewers, like cruises and, you know, drift meets, where I'll record all you guys as well and sort of put it in a video, and we can sort of make videos together rather than, damn, sorry about that. Rest in peace, that dude. Where we can, you know, what am I saying? Yeah, I'm going to do more videos where we can sort of make the video together rather than me just sort of on my own making a tutorial on how to make a design or something, because there's a lot of that on my channel where it's just me talking. I want to be a bit more of an involved channel where I get the people who watch me and subscribe and that like this sort of stuff, have input on the videos and are in the videos as well. Because I really appreciate everyone that watches, you know, it's definitely helps, and I plan to do this full time one day, doing YouTube and, you know, car videos to the likes of, like, you know, C Toretto and Slaptrain, G2 Fast. That's, you know, I doubt I'll ever get there, but that's where I want to be, and that's the sort of, that's the level I want to get to, doing, you know, really high quality videos with my viewers and subscribers, and obviously getting better at the wheel, because let's be honest, I'm pretty bad at the moment. But it's, you know, this is only my second day and probably my second or third hour using this whole setup itself. Probably spent an hour, 2 hours on Forza last night. I've only just been on this today about an hour, if that. So yeah, just getting started, and a lot more to come. Tutorials, you know, chilled out videos, just drifting around, meets, cruises with different people, with viewers and subscribers. And yeah, if you have video ideas, always drop them in the comments. I respond to all my comments, so if there's anything you want to ask or say, I'll respond to it. So feel free to comment whatever you want. But yeah, if you like this video, drop a like. If you want to see more stuff like this, drifting, racing, tutorials, meetups, wheel videos, subscribe for more. And if you've made it this far, appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching. Hopefully see you in the next one. Have a good day, and I'll see you later. Peace.